Welcome, welcome, welcome. Testing, testing, testing. Going to type into the chat. Live guidance. Any questions on your vision and direction in this great life? Curious, I'm going to be here probably for about 30 minutes as I was the other day. So trying to grab some of these things here. But I want to see if there's some questions you guys had specifically oriented towards choosing a direction and having a vision with your life. So it's like just being able to clarify some things, because most of us just wake up and we go day to day and we don't think about, what maybe big events you think about when you travel. You think about, when you're about to go on a trip, or you have something big planned for yourself. But none of us really plan out their entire year, or they don't plan out their entire 3 years or 5 years. And some of us can't even fathom what it's like to do 25 years, which I've been challenged to. That one was difficult. I've been able to flesh out the next 10 years, almost 15, I would say about 12. But 25 years is difficult for most of us. So what I wanted to do is, for those people that are here, I wanted to see what you're looking at for like a direction in your life, in your business. Do you have a direction or a vision for your life or business as well? And sometimes a direction will get you where you want to go, right? A direction will get you, say you want to be a teacher, you want to be a professor, you want to be an online marketer, you want to be a guide like myself, or a coach, or a consultant, or a leader in an organization, or a lawyer, or the head of something. That direction will get you to where you need to get. It will get you motivated. But a long-term vision, of saying, what, maybe that teacher wants to put an online product or an online course or something, and they want to go to the masses. They want to go huge, and they have a vision for it, what they're trying to do. Because most people don't truly think they think day to day, sometimes week to week. It's rarely month to month, or 6 months, or a year down the line. They don't have things that are out on that calendar. And, it could be whatever. I mean, it could be anything. But I want to get people's heads wrapped around thinking about clarifying it, being clear, because if you don't know where you're going, it's like that line in Alice in Wonderland, anywhere will do. Alice, you don't know which way you're going? Any road will go. Any road will make sense to you then, right? So think about that. And I do have my Starbucks coffee. This is not brought to you by Starbucks, but it is Starbucks coffee. So the people that are here, what questions or that you could think of that you'd like more clarity on, that you'd like a little more guidance on? And I'm always looking at guidance as being able to guide the dance of what you're looking to do, right? If you look up that, what does a guide do? A guide helps people, leads them to places where they want to go. Like if you've ever traveled to an exotic island, I've traveled to Jamaica. I'm actually planning a trip to Japan. I've been to Europe. And I remember, where was it? I think it was Scotland. I was in Scotland, and we got a guide to lead us around. And he just asked, what would you guys like to see? He's like, I have my own itinerant. He's like, what would you guys like to see? And then I wanted to see the Royal Mile. I know the Queen was in town. I wanted to see if I could get just near that. Obviously wouldn't get in. I don't have those type of connections. But the thing was, and I also wanted, there's this astronomy thing, this thing that was peculiar. The guy said, cool, we'll do all that. I'll put that in the tour. And he says, I have some stuff off the beaten path that you may be interested in too, but we'll get you there, and through his experience, right, through his living and being brought up in, I believe it was in Edinburgh, Edinburgh, and he lived there. And he said, you know what? Yeah, that's cool. You want to see this, but also we'll go over here too. I have some experience that you may not have. And, what are you mainly interested in? And at that time, I was interested in clans and like garbs and weaponry and just stuff of that nature, just to check it out. And he showed us where we wanted to go. Initially he took us there, but he actually melded some other stuff in there, and we were able to dance around. We had such an experience. I was with a former girlfriend, and it was amazing. And I did not expect to go on that kind of journey. And he kind of gave it to us in a straight line. He says, we're going to go from here to here in this amount of time. And literally collapsed the time that if we did it, it probably would have took a month, but we did it in under a week. I think it was about 8 days, 9 days, maybe. I don't remember. And it was an experience for a life, and he was well knowledgeable, and he had knowledge, he had skills, he had experience behind everything that he was leading us through. And he was a great storyteller. I mean, he brought his skills with him. He brought, the knowledge he had. He actually had some family crests that were involved in some of the stuff that we were visiting. And it just made the experience spectacular and phenomenal. And we were able to do it in a short amount of time, and we really enjoyed ourselves. So that's an example of guidance. And there was a dance to it. There was a rhythm. There was a movement. There was a semblance of taking all these individual parts and putting them together and doing it as quickly as possible, and doing it in such a manner that it wooed us. There was like a woo to it. There was there was a lot of, there's so much value in it, and it was exceptional. And like, we also got to see the changing of the guard, which is something I wanted to see because my mother was a former Navy, I believe she was a Navy officer, I'm not sure, but there's a huge painting with her in it. And I remember, she would say she had to guard the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier in Washington, D.C. back in the day. And I think she worked in the branches over there. And so I always wanted to see that, the changing of the guard, because she always told me about how she did it, and it was cool. And I was able to see that. That was an experience to me that put smiles and brings goosebumps. So that's experience I want to kind of give you guys here. Is having an experience, but the experience is your life. The experience is the life and business that you're putting together to go out in the universe and bring value to people, because we're shifting in this time. We're going from profit-driven businesses to people-driven businesses that are ran very intelligently with technology. And, whatever you think about technology, I think it's one of the greatest things on the planet, because it just frees up our time, and it makes us become more effective and efficient with what we're doing, and it commands and demands more from us. And I think that's how we adapt and we evolutionary become better. So in saying that, where in your life business are you struggling? Where in your life concurrently, right? Because a lot of people say this is a time of uncertainty, which I think it's actually in a time of adaptation, a time of thrival, when you can see the opportunities that are out there. Because if you really look back on classic times, you'll see that during the worst of times are actually the best of times, because they give us opportunities to make the world better. They give us an opportunity to get better. We've had mass opportunities to, and I'm not talking about the negatives of it, right? I'm not talking about the negatives of, we're all dying of something, right? People are dying of heart attacks, cancers, not to go down a rabbit hole of doom, but that is a part of life, right? But there is, through life, there is death. Through death, there is life. And if you're listening to this, I notice there are a few people on here that are, where is it for you that you want to go in your life, in your business, and whatever it is for you? And how do you think you'll get there? What are some questions that you could possibly ask to start the process? To start the process of discovering what your dream business or niche would be for you. What do you think it is? And I'm going to type question. What do you want? Notice I misspelled some words in there, and that's okay. You guys could deduce what they mean. Like I think, like there's desires and wants. And desires, I believe, lead us astray because they're kind of for the moment. Where a want or a need is something that is fulfilling. Desire kind of gives us a glimpse of a happiness, you know. So just entertaining that question alone, being specific about it, and asking a why question around that. Why is that? Why is that for you? What could that do for me? What could that do for my family? What could that do for us? What could that do for the world? What could that do for my neighborhood? What could that do for my community? What could that do for my church? What could that do for my friends? And why is that? Why is that? And I learned this from a guy named Joe Stump, and it was called The Levels of Why. I saw him speak many, many years ago, and there was a level of why. And when you go down to these levels of why, when you go down these like 7 to 10 levels of why, you really ask a question when that gets emotional. That moves you from your head to your heart. And when you can create that conduit, because most of us are in our heads, we think we know more than we actually know. When you trust and you're open, you actually find out you don't know a lot. But when you ask those levels of questions and it goes deep enough, you're able to actually touch your heart. You're able to, they're doing a lot of studies on heart intelligence now and the synchronies of the heart. When we're in that calm state, we're able to connect more with the subconscious mind, right? If you study any of Dr. Joe's work, which I definitely do. I study a lot of people, but Dr. Joe's work, Dr. Joe Dispenza, is a lucrative part of my thinking. I don't agree with everything he says, but a lot of stuff is backed up by the science and the data of what's concurrently happening. And I was recently connected with Benjamin Hardy, who does a lot of that as well. He's a big science guy and he studies things of that nature as well. And he's piqued my interest. I'm going to be interviewing him in an upcoming podcast. And I think he was like an author, speaker, #1 writer, medium. I think he has 4 or 5 books out. But he's an interesting cat, and he's someone that you may want to really listen to about personality change, about being able to go from where you are to where you want to go, where you want to grow, which I think is very important. So I'm going to be quiet for a minute, see if there's any questions. And that's it. I'm going to go for another minute. Something beautiful about silence. Sometimes there's not. Sometimes it needs to be the signal. You got to answer the signal because the signals are all around us. Sometimes we're not in tune because we're being distracted by everything else around us, and we don't really hear the signal that's calling out to you. Sometimes that signal comes in a whisper, not a roar. Or most things, roar is danger, but sometimes those little whispers in your subconscious mind bring out truth for you. So I'm going to leave with that, and I'm going to bid you guys a great day. And if you're listening to this after the fact, I hope that was helpful. Take care. Have an amazing day. Again, I'm Raymond J. Negron, Beyond Failure to Reach Success. And we help people discover their dream business, start, grow, launch, and scale. And looking forward to seeing you guys here. Take care.